This week, Pfizer and BioNTech asked the FDA to authorize the use of its COVID-19 vaccine for children ages 5 to 11. This comes as many parents and pediatricians are calling for protection for children younger than 12. To help us better understand what's happening here, Dr. Amira Roaz, a professor of global health and epidemiology from George Mason University. Thanks for joining us tonight, Doctor.
Thank you for having me.
So first, tell us your reaction to this news that this could potentially be approved for those younger children ages 5 to 11.
Well, I think that's promising. It's good news that we now have a viable vaccine candidate that's being reviewed by the FDA, or that will be reviewed by the FDA by the end of this month.
And how important is it to break through for this age group with this vaccine? Because, we know that children older than 12 have been able to get it, but for a lot of kids, they are now back in school and having to wear those masks still, and what this could potentially mean for them, for that age group.
Right. For this age group, we are seeing a lot more asymptomatic infection. That is, a lot of younger children are testing positive and either have no symptoms or have very mild symptoms. However, they're able to transmit the virus to others. And so a vaccine could really help us cut down on transmission, which would really help us get the pandemic under control sooner.
And what do you say to parents who may be hesitant to get their children vaccinated?
Well, I think we want to make sure that parents themselves are vaccinated and older children are vaccinated, and really pay attention to the data that are coming out there. It's been very clear that those individuals who are vaccinated have a much lower risk of being hospitalized or of having severe illness. And so first, we really need to continue to get the message out there that adults and older children, 12 and up, really should get the vaccine. And once we have a vaccine that's approved for the younger age groups, then we want to pay attention to the safety of the vaccine and the effectiveness of the vaccine, and really encourage each other to go ahead and get our children vaccinated.
Are there any concerns that you've seen in any studies or data that you've gotten a chance to get your hands on that are questionable, that may be something people want to, are concerned about?
Well, one thing that the FDA and others are really paying close attention to is the fact that the data that are going to be reviewed in a couple of weeks now have been collected from a smaller number of children than we would have liked to see. For the adult vaccine trials, we saw something like 40,000 individuals participating. And then for the pediatric vaccine, this 5 to 11 age group, it was initially closer to 2,000 children. And the FDA really wanted to get that number up. So that is something that a lot of us are paying attention to. We're also going to listen closely to hear what the FDA rules in terms of the safety and the effectiveness of the vaccine from that small number. And it really might be a good idea to look at what other countries have found when they've also done trials in the 5 to 11 age group.
Okay, interesting. What about these booster shots? We've seen them for the older age groups, age 65 and up. There's been conversation about it for immunocompromised in a younger mid-range age group. Is this something we would potentially see for children as well, as we implement booster shots throughout our population as well?
Right. It is likely that we will need a booster for all individuals who receive the COVID-19 vaccine. The big question is going to be, what will the dosage be? What will the period be between the first vaccine or the first series of vaccines and the booster? With many vaccines, we have boosters. Sometimes it's 1 year, sometimes it's 3 years, sometimes it's longer.
And quickly, before we go, what's next in all of this? When do you expect to see a final decision with this coming down?
It seems that sometime in the first week of November, we will likely hear something about the FDA's ruling on the COVID-19 vaccine for the 5 to 11-year-olds.
All right, Dr. Roaz, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us tonight. Always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
Well, stay with us. We've got more news and weather after a quick break.